You want to know the exact moment the galaxy realized they'd screwed up? Captain Maya Rodriguez leaned back in her chair, boots propped on her desk with calculated irreverence. It wasn't when we cracked FTL. It wasn't when we reverse-engineered their supposedly unhackable quantum encryption. Hell, it wasn't even when we started mass-producing ships that could outrun their best scouts. Her reptilian guest, Ambassador Cathax of the Centaurian Alliance, flicked a nervous tongue. I was under the impression this would be a standard diplomatic briefing. Oh, honey. Maya grinned, the expression carrying absolutely zero warmth. This is exactly what you came for. You wanted to understand humanity's inexplicable rise to power. Well, story time is the best time for learning lessons, wouldn't you agree? The ambassador's scales shifted from their usual iridescent green to a muted gray, the Centaurian equivalent of a grimace. Perhaps I should... Sit! Maya's boots hit the floor with a sharp crack. You wanted answers? You're getting them. The galaxy screwed up the moment they thought they could treat humanity like some backwater experiment gone wrong. The moment they decided to contain us. Cathax sank lower in his chair, remembering all too well the classified reports about Operation Containment. The ones that had somehow leaked across every major network in known space just weeks after implementation. You see, Maya continued, pulling up a holographic display of Earth's solar system. The funny thing about humans is, we're really good at pattern recognition. Like, really good. So when our first few attempts at joining the Galactic Council kept getting lost in processing, we noticed. When our trade ships started experiencing random drive failures right before major negotiations, we noticed that too. The display shifted to show a complex web of trade routes, political alliances, and military movements. Cathax felt his secondary heart skip a beat. This was classified information from at least 6 different species intelligence agencies. But you know what we noticed most of all? Maya's voice dropped to an almost conspiratorial whisper. We noticed that every single spacefaring race had somehow, miraculously, developed their technologies in almost exactly the same order. Almost like someone was guiding them, controlling the flow of innovation. Cathax's scales went from gray to almost white. That's just convergent evolution of technological development. Bullshit. Maya's smile widened. Want to know what happened 6 months ago, when the Arcturian Defense Fleet tried to quarantine Earth's orbit? The ambassador didn't want to know. He really didn't want to know. But Maya was already pulling up another hologram. See, humanity had spent the last 50 years doing something unprecedented. Instead of following your neat little technological roadmap, we went sideways. Horizontal innovation, we called it. While you were all focused on making bigger ships with bigger guns, we were asking questions like, hey, what if we made our ships smaller? What if we made them out of different materials entirely? What if we completely reimagined what a weapon could be? The hologram showed what looked like a standard Arcturian dreadnought. Then it showed that same dreadnought being systematically dismantled by what appeared to be... Cathax squinted. Those couldn't be... maintenance drones, Maya confirmed, clearly enjoying his reaction. About 10 million of them. Each one about the size of my thumb. Individually programmed to identify and remove specific components of any ship not broadcasting human IFF signals. We called it Operation Cleanup Crew. But that's impossible. The computing power alone would be astronomical if we'd done it the way you would. But see, that's the beauty of horizontal innovation. We didn't build bigger computers. We built different computers. Quantum? Please. We went biological. Neural networks grown in 0G, trained on centuries of human strategy games. Each drone had the processing equivalent of a chess grandmaster, but specialized for exactly one task. Maya stood up, walking around her desk to perch on its edge, closer to Cathax. Want to know the really funny part? We didn't even develop that tech for military purposes. It was originally designed for deep space mining operations. But when the Arcturians decided to play stupid games, she shrugged. They won stupid prizes. Cathax found his voice, though it came out as more of a squeak. The Council. They said the Arcturian fleet was lost to a spatial anomaly. Oh, it was lost, all right. Lost to about 10 million very hungry little friends who stripped it down to its component atoms. Clean, efficient, and completely untraceable. Just like we'd been trained to be by centuries of our own internal conflicts. She picked up a small object from her desk, what looked like an ordinary stylus, and twirled it between her fingers. You see, Ambassador, Humanity had spent most of its history fighting itself. We got really, really good at finding creative ways to break things. But more importantly, we got really good at hiding how we did it. The stylus suddenly dissolved into a cloud of microscopic particles that danced through the air before reforming into a perfect replica of the Centaurian Alliance's seal. Cathax nearly fell out of his chair. That's impossible. Matter manipulation on that scale would require exactly the kind of technology your people decided we weren't ready for? Maya's smile turned predatory. Funny how that works out. The seal dissolved again, reforming into the stylus. The moment the galaxy screwed up wasn't when they tried to contain us. It was when they assumed we would stay contained. When they thought we'd follow the same neat, orderly path to the stars that they had. But humanity? She laughed. Humanity has never been good at following paths. We make our own, usually right through whatever obstacles people put in our way. Cathax found himself wondering if his chair was about to dissolve into hostile nanites. What do you want? Want? Oh, that's simple. We want what we've always wanted, to be left alone to develop at our own pace, in our own way. But since the galaxy decided that wasn't an option, Maya shrugged. We decided to change the rules of the game. She tossed the stylus to Cathax, who caught it reflexively. That's a gift, by the way. A little demonstration of what humanity can do when we put our minds to it. It's completely harmless, just a regular stylus. But now you'll always wonder, won't you? Every time you pick up a piece of technology, you'll wonder if it's really what it appears to be. If it might suddenly decide to rearrange itself. The ambassador stared at the stylus like it might bite him. Is this a threat? A threat? No, no, no! Maya's laugh was genuine this time. This is a history lesson. The threat happened 6 months ago when the Arcturian fleet disappeared. This is just me being neighborly, sharing stories, building diplomatic relations. She stood up, straightening her uniform. You can keep the stylus. Consider it a reminder that humanity doesn't need threats. We don't need grand displays of military might or political maneuvering. We just need people to understand one simple truth. We're done playing by rules we never agreed to. Cathax rose on shaky legs, clutching the stylus like it might protect him somehow. I should report back to the council. Of course. That's exactly why I invited you here. Tell them everything. Tell them about our little chat, about the stylus, about Operation Cleanup Crew. Tell them that humanity is willing to play nice, but we're done playing games. As the ambassador hurried toward the door, Maya called after him. Oh, and Cathax, one more thing. He froze, scales rippling with anxiety. That stylus? It really is just a stylus. But now you'll never be completely sure, will you? That's humanity's real superpower. We don't have to actually do anything. We just have to make you think we might. After the ambassador had fled, there really was no other word for it. Maya sat back down at her desk and opened a comm channel. Mission accomplished. Operation Psychological Warfare is a go. How'd I do? Admiral Patel's hologram appeared, grinning. Perfect delivery. The quantum sensors picked up his biochemical readings throughout the whole conversation. His stress levels were off the charts. And the stylus? Standard issue office supply, cost about 2 credits. But according to our intelligence, he's already requested a full molecular scan of it from 3 different science divisions. Maya laughed. How long should we let them panic before we tell them the truth about Operation Cleanup Crew? You mean about how it was completely made up and the Arcturian fleet actually just got lost because they typed in the wrong coordinates? Hey, not our fault they never bothered to put GPS in their ships. Though I do feel a little bad about letting them think we're technological wizards. Speaking of which, Patel's expression turned serious. How's the actual maintenance drone project coming along? Maya's grin widened. That's the best part. R&D says they're about 3 weeks away from a working prototype. Turns out Cathax's panic is going to inspire at least 4 different species to pour resources into defending against exactly the kind of technology we're actually developing. So we scared them with a fictional capability, which made them develop defenses against it, which gave us all the research data we needed to actually build it. They shared a moment of appreciation for the sheer absurdity of it all. You know, Maya mused, sometimes I think the galaxy's biggest mistake wasn't trying to contain us. Oh? It was assuming we'd fight fair once we got out. The Admiral's laugh filled the room. Well, they wanted humanity to learn from their example. I'd say we learned plenty. Maya picked up another stylus. This one actually containing a quantum computer capable of hacking any system in known space, and started drafting her official report. Think we should tell them about the actual nanotech projects? Let's wait until they finish panicking about the fake ones. No sense overwhelming them with too much existential dread at once. How diplomatic of you. I try. By the way, intelligence reports that Cathax just requested an emergency council session. Apparently, he's convinced we've infiltrated their entire civilization with shape-shifting office supplies. Maya couldn't help it. She burst out laughing. You know what the really funny part is? What's that? We actually did infiltrate their civilization, just not with the office supplies. Oh, do tell. She gestured to the seemingly ordinary plant sitting in the corner of her office. Let's just say our bioengineering division got really creative with their definition of decorative flora. Did you know that every council chamber has at least 3 potted plants? And that plants are really good at recording conversations? Patel's hologram shook his head in amazement. Sometimes I think we should feel bad about being this paranoid and underhanded. Hey, they're the ones who taught us that the galaxy plays dirty. We just decided to play dirtier. Fair point. Well, I should go. We've got another diplomatic incident to manufacture. Seems the Proximan Empire is getting a bit too curious about our quantum communications research. Need any help? I've got some very convincing office supplies I could lend you. I think we'll stick to the classics. Just going to have all their research computers simultaneously display pictures of cats for about 6 hours. Evil. I love it. After the Admiral's hologram faded, Maya leaned back in her chair and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, an ambassador was frantically warning the Galactic Council about humanity's terrifying technological capabilities. Little did they know, their fear would do more to advance human innovation than any actual technology ever could. And that, she murmured to herself, is why you don't try to contain a species that invented both paranoia and practical jokes. The plant in the corner rustled in what might have been agreement, or maybe it was just recording another conversation for humanity's ever-growing database of galactic secrets. Either way, Maya was pretty sure the galaxy was finally learning its lesson. Never underestimate a species that turned making other people think we're scarier than we actually are into an art form. Though, to be fair, they were getting pretty scary anyway. But that was just a bonus. So, Admiral Patel's hologram flickered with barely contained amusement. Want to hear how the Proximan Empire responded to Operation Cat Meme? Maya looked up from her terminal, where she'd been reviewing reports of increasingly panicked council meetings. Please tell me they didn't actually declare war on our internet cats. Better. They developed an entire division dedicated to defending against weaponized Earth fauna information packets. What? Apparently, they're convinced that cats are some kind of psychic attack vectors we've digitized. The working theory is that we've somehow captured the essence of Earth's most enigmatic predators and turned them into computer viruses. Maya buried her face in her hands, shoulders shaking with suppressed laughter. Please tell me you have footage of the meeting where they decided this. Better than footage. Remember those plants we engineered? The ones currently recording every council session? Well, it turns out they've developed a peculiar side effect. They're starting to empathize with the conversations they record. The one in the Proximan war room actually started purring during their strategic analysis of cat memes. Maya's head snapped up. It what? Dr. Patel from bioengineering is beside herself with joy. Apparently we've accidentally created the galaxy's first cross-kingdom sense of humor. The plants think we're hilarious. Maya paused, considering the implications. That's either the best or worst thing I've ever heard, and I honestly can't decide which. Oh, it gets better. Remember how we leaked those fake documents about Operation Cleanup Crew? The completely made-up maintenance drone story that scared Cathax half to death? What about it? Patel's hologram expanded, displaying a series of classified Centaurian research documents. Turns out they've been working overtime to develop countermeasures. In doing so, they accidentally invented exactly the kind of nanotechnology we were pretending to have. You're kidding. Nope. They're so paranoid about our non-existent swarms of ship-eating nanites that they've created actual swarms of ship-protecting nanites, which, by the way, our R&D department is having a field day reverse engineering from the leaked schematics. Maya leaned back in her chair, running a hand through her hair. So let me get this straight. We scared them with fake technology, which made them develop real technology, which we're now copying to make our fake technology real. Pretty much. Though technically we're improving on their designs since they made some pretty obvious mistakes in their rush to defend against our imaginary threat. Like what? Like forgetting that nanites can be reprogrammed. We didn't even have to hack their systems. They literally published the command codes in their internal documentation because they were so focused on the hardware they completely neglected software security. Maya started laughing again. So, not only did they build our weapons for us, they handed us the instruction manual, with color-coded diagrams. Sometimes I think we should feel bad about this. About making the galaxy repeatedly shoot itself in the foot while trying to defend against threats we haven't actually made yet? Yeah, that. Patel shrugged. Look at it this way. They spent 3 centuries trying to keep humanity contained because they thought we weren't ready for advanced technology. All we're doing is proving them right in the most ironic way possible. By making them so afraid of our advanced technology that they build it themselves? Exactly. Though I have to admit, the plants developing a sense of humor was definitely not part of the plan. As if on cue, the plant in Maya's office rustled in what was definitely amusement. Both officers turned to look at it. Did it just snicker at us? Maya asked. I think it did. Dr. Patel says they're developing distinct personalities. The one in the Arcturian war room has apparently become a terrible gossip. Keeps swaying dramatically whenever anyone mentions Earth. That's concerning. Oh, it gets better. The plants have started communicating with each other. Apparently, they've developed their own form of photosynthetic Morse code. They're trading jokes about the council members. Maya pinched the bridge of her nose. Please tell me we haven't accidentally created a rebellion of comedic foliage. No, they're completely loyal to Earth. They just think it's hilarious how much everyone else is panicking about us. The one in the Proxima war room started humming "Another One Bites the Dust" during their last strategy session. How is that even possible? We didn't program them with music. We didn't program them with a sense of humor either, but here we are. Dr. Patel's working theory is that they're learning from the conversations they record. She's calling it passive cultural absorption. Maya glanced at her office plant, which was now doing what could only be described as a vegetative victory dance. Should we be worried about this? Honestly? At this point, I think we should just roll with it. The galaxy already thinks we're technological wizards who can turn office supplies into weapons. Might as well let them think we've weaponized photosynthesis too. Speaking of which, how's Cathax doing? Still having everything in his office molecularly scanned. Yesterday he became convinced that his chair was a disguised human spy device because it made a squeaking noise. It wasn't, was it? No, it just needed oil. But we did have to call off Operation Furniture Farewell. Operation what now? Oh right, you weren't briefed on that one. We were planning to have all the furniture in the council chamber gradually shift position by a few millimeters each day. Really lean into the whole humans can make anything into a spy paranoia. Maya considered this. That would have been evil. I know, right? Such a shame we had to cancel it, though. Patel's grin turned mischievous. We did notice something interesting about those nanites the Centaurians developed. Do tell. Turns out they can be programmed to move very, very slowly across surfaces, like, say, across the floor of a council chamber. Maya matched his grin. Are you suggesting what I think you're suggesting? I'm just saying, if the council suddenly notices that their room seems slightly different every day, well, they did build the technology themselves. We're just optimizing their innovation. Admiral Patel, I do believe you've gone native with this whole psychological warfare thing. Hey, they wanted to see humanity's true capabilities. I say we give them exactly what they're looking for, their own worst fears, courtesy of their own paranoid innovations. The plant in the corner started swaying in what was definitely a dance move. Maya was pretty sure it was the Macarena. She mused, when I joined the Space Force, I really didn't expect to end up coordinating with sentient plants and reprogramming alien nanites to gaslight the entire Galactic Council. Look on the bright side. At least we're not actually trying to take over the galaxy. No, we're just making them think we are, which is somehow making them hand us everything we'd need to actually do it. Exactly. And the best part? Every time they come up with a new way to defend against our threats, they accidentally give us 3 new ways to actually threaten them. Maya looked at her plant, which had now moved on to what appeared to be the YMCA. Should we tell them about any of this? What? That their desperate attempts to defend against our made-up technology keep resulting in them developing actual technology that we then improve upon? Or that their supposedly secure council chambers are being monitored by plants with a better sense of humor than most comedy writers? Either. Both. I'm starting to feel like we're the bad guys here. Patel's expression softened. Maya, they spent 3 centuries actively suppressing human development because they thought we weren't mature enough for advanced technology. All we're doing is letting their own paranoia do our R&D for us. If anything, we're saving humanity centuries of research time. By scaring the galaxy into developing technology they think we already have, then actually developing it better than they did? Exactly. Think of it as collaborative innovation through motivated panic. The plant had moved on to disco moves. Maya was pretty sure she saw it do a perfect John Travolta point. Fine, she sighed. But can we at least try to tone down the psychological warfare? I'm starting to worry about Cathax's blood pressure. Too late. Intelligence reports he's already commissioned a study on whether Earth's grass could be secretly reporting on Centaurian troop movements. Is it? No, but that's actually not a bad idea. I'll pass it along to R&D. Maya looked at her dancing plant and wondered, not for the first time, if humanity had finally gone too far in its quest to prove itself to the galaxy. Then she remembered the centuries of suppression, the patronizing dismissal of human innovation, and the constant attempts to keep Earth isolated and contained. You know what? She said. Send me the specs for those nanites. I have some ideas for Operation Council chamber redecoration. That's the spirit? Oh, and Maya? Yeah? Dr. Patel wants to know if your plant takes requests. Apparently the one in her lab has been trying to learn Stayin' Alive, but can't quite get the rhythm right. Maya watched as her plant immediately switched to a perfect rendition of the famous disco pose. I think that's a yes. Excellent. I'll add weaponized disco plants to the list of things the galaxy thinks we've developed. At this point, why not? It's not like reality could get any weirder than their theories about us. The plant did a perfect split. I stand corrected. We may have a slight situation. Admiral Patel's hologram appeared in Maya's office at 0300 hours, which was never a good sign. Maya, who had been dozing off while reading reports about the Council's latest paranoid theories, straightened in her chair. Please tell me the plants haven't unionized. Worse, they've started writing poetry. There was a long moment of silence, broken only by what sounded suspiciously like a rhyming couplet from the corner of the room. Poetry, Maya repeated flatly. Apparently, the one in the Arcturian war room started it, composed a full sonnet about their failed containment strategies. It was surprisingly scathing. Do I want to know? The first line was, "O foolish beings of scales and pride, whose fear of Earth has made them lose their minds." Maya's plant swayed appreciatively. Great, now they're literary critics too. What's next? Interpretive dance? Funny you should mention that. Patel looked uncomfortable. The entire botanical network has apparently developed a fascination with Earth's performing arts. Dr. Patel found her lab specimen attempting to recreate the entire opening number from Chicago using phototropism. The musical? Complete with jazz hands. Well, jazz leaves. Maya buried her face in her hands. Please tell me this isn't why you called at 3 in the morning. No, that's just the amusing part. The actual situation is, well, remember Operation Council chamber redecoration? The one where we reprogrammed their own nanites to slowly move their furniture around? Yes. Well, it turns out the nanites have developed some unexpected behaviors. Maya looked up sharply. What kind of unexpected behaviors? They've started rearranging things into memes. They've what? Yesterday, the entire council chamber was discovered with all its furniture arranged in the loss meme format. The day before that, it was Doge. Today they somehow managed a perfect recreation of woman yelling at cat, using nothing but chairs and potted plants. But we didn't program them to do that. No, we didn't. Dr. Patel thinks they might have picked it up from the plants. Apparently, our comedic foliage has been sharing Earth's cultural history with anything that'll listen, including, it seems, swarms of alien nanomachines. Maya's plant chose that moment to execute what was unmistakably a chef's kiss gesture. So let me get this straight, Maya said slowly. Our spy plants, which accidentally developed sentience and a sense of humor, are now teaching alien nanomachines about Earth memes. And the nanomachines, which the aliens built to defend against our non-existent technology, are now using that knowledge to turn the council chamber into a living meme gallery? That's pretty much exactly what's happening, yes. And the council's response? They're convinced it's all part of our master plan. Cathax has submitted a 15,000-page report theorizing that we've developed some kind of quantum mimetic warfare capability. The Proximan Empire has established a Department of Human Cultural Defense dedicated to understanding and countering Earth-based information attacks. But we're not actually attacking them. Try telling them that. The Arcturians have started requiring all their military personnel to study classical Earth internet culture, believing it will help them predict our next move. Maya stared at her plant, which was now attempting to recreate the "this is fine" meme using its own leaves. We've created a monster, haven't we? Several, technically. The nanites have started taking requests from the plants. Tomorrow's council chamber arrangement is supposed to be distracted boyfriend, using 3 different styles of chairs. Can we stop them? Probably. But Dr. Patel wants to see how far this goes. She's writing a paper on emergent artificial intelligence in cross-species collaborative art installations. This isn't art. This is the most elaborate practical joke in human history. I was going to say a diplomatic nightmare, but yes, that too. Patel's hologram shimmered with barely contained mirth. Oh, it gets better. The plants have started taking suggestions from the council members' private conversations about what they think we might do next. Then they tell the nanites, who arrange the furniture to match these paranoid theories, which of course makes the council think their worst fears are being confirmed. Creating a feedback loop of increasingly bizarre scenarios that they then attribute to our non-existent capabilities, Maya finished. Perfect. The Proximan Empire's latest theory is that we've developed quantum-entangled cat memes that can transmit information faster than light. Have we? No, but 3 different species are now working on it because they're convinced we already have it. Maya's plant had moved on to recreating the expanding brain meme through an impressive display of selective leaf wilting. You know what the really funny part is? Patel mused. We're probably advancing galactic technology faster through their paranoid responses to our non-existent capabilities than we ever could have through actual research and development. Speaking of which, how's our actual R&D coming along? Well, thanks to everyone else's panic-driven innovation, we're about 3 centuries ahead of schedule. Turns out nothing motivates scientific advancement quite like the fear that your rivals already have it. And the plants? Dr. Patel's latest theory is that they've developed some kind of collective consciousness through their shared appreciation of Earth culture. They're calling themselves the Meme Dream Team. Maya's plant struck a pose that could only be described as smug. The nanites have started signing their furniture arrangements. Yesterday's Drake meme included a tiny signature made of quantum dots, spelling out, "Brought to you by the Nanite Art Collective, in collaboration with the Photosynthetic Performance Guild." Maya reached for her coffee. It was definitely going to be that kind of day. Please tell me we at least have a plan for when the council figures out what's really going on. Oh, that's the best part, Patel grinned. They're so convinced that everything is part of our master plan that they've started attributing completely natural events to human intervention. Yesterday, Cathax submitted a report suggesting that Earth might be controlling the galaxy's weather patterns through strategically placed office supplies. Are we? No. But 3 different research teams are now working on weather control technology because they think we already have it. So, what you're saying is, the more they panic about our fake capabilities, the more real capabilities they accidentally develop, which we then actually develop better than they did, which makes them panic more. Creating an infinite loop of paranoia-driven innovation. Exactly. At this rate, they'll have invented faster-than-light communication, perfect weather control, and stable artificial intelligence by the end of the month, all because they're convinced we already have these things. Maya looked at her plant, which was now performing what appeared to be a one-flora reenactment of the entire steamed hams meme. Should we tell them? That their entire technological revolution is being driven by their paranoid responses to capabilities we don't actually have, while being documented by sentient plants with a passion for Earth memes and choreographed by self-aware nanomachines with an artistic streak. When you put it that way. Besides, Patel added, Dr. Patel wants to see if the plants can teach the nanites about Broadway musicals next. Apparently, they're very interested in Hamilton. Maya's plant immediately launched into what was unmistakably the opening pose from Alexander Hamilton. You know what? Maya decided. Let's just see where this goes. After all, they wanted to see humanity's true capabilities. Even though none of these were actually our capabilities until they invented them for us. Especially because of that. Consider it a lesson in the dangers of self-fulfilling prophecies. The plant finished its performance with a flourish that would have made Lin-Manuel Miranda proud. Though we should probably do something about the nanites before they try to recreate the entire Cabinet Battle #1 using council furniture. Too late. That's scheduled for next Tuesday. Maya looked at her coffee, looked at her plant, now taking a bow, and looked at Patel's grinning hologram. You know what? I say we let them. After all, the galaxy wanted to see what humanity was capable of. Even though this isn't technically what we're capable of. Oh, but it is, Maya smiled. We're capable of making the entire galaxy so paranoid about our abilities that they end up giving us better abilities than we could have developed on our own. If that's not a uniquely human capability, I don't know what is. The plant started humming, You'll Be Back. Though we should probably draw the line at letting them do the room where it happens. I don't think the council chamber's architecture can handle that level of choreography. Spoil sport, said the plant. Both officers froze. Did your plant just talk? You know what? Maya decided, reaching for more coffee. I don't even want to know. Just add talking plants to the list of things the galaxy thinks we've developed. Already done. Cathax is writing a report about it as we speak. Of course he is, the end.